Welcome back to another episode of the Planner
Planner
Suite.
Suites.
So, today we're going to be talking about breaking up with a client. No one ever wants to do that, but it has to be done. Somebody has to be the bad guy and do it. Every client is not your clientele.
Yep.
I agree.
Not the silence. Not the silence. Not the silence.
It
No,
wasn't
I agree.
silence. It was just a really deep sigh of like.
Because
damn.
I'm sad it has to happen.
It is heartbreaking. It is.
And what's really sad is like, even though I'm sad that I've broken up with clients, I'm even sadder that there's some people that I didn't break up with.
Ooh.
You didn't notice those red flags early.
No, I saw
I think
them.
I think we noticed. I feel like this is
Not
this
you
is like
love roller
therapy.
coasters at the carnival.
I feel like
Amy
this
said,
is
"Oh, red
therapy
flag."
because no, this is sad. This
It
is
is.
really sad. It's really sad when, like, as a planner or a vendor, you put your heart into something and someone just literally chops and screws you at the end.
Yeah.
And breaking up with clients is, it's vital. You have to do it.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, and it's so funny because Whitney and Destiny always tell me when the client is not the right person. Like, I'm too nice. They tell me. They be like, I don't know about this one. I don't know.
Yeah. I remember there was one time it had literally been 5 minutes and I texted Amy on the side and I was like, Amy, this isn't going to be good.
And I broke up with that client.
It took you a little while though.
It took me a little while, and
Yeah.
eventually I did. I broke
Yeah.
up with the client. But we'll get into that.
What-
Why did I break up with the client? It was almost like the biggest thing with me is like, you come to me as a professional, right? To help you with an event or to plan something. And when people start to tell me how to do what I do, that's really difficult for me. So when you find that you are now the expert, I kind of have to pull back. Like, you don't want to follow my process. You don't want to. And then it's if you're being respectful or disrespectful. So I broke up with the client very respectfully. And she was still, and that's how I knew it wasn't a good fit, because she was upset that, like, I was like, here's all your money back. This is not working. I'll give you referrals and we have to go our separate ways.
You said you broke up with her respectfully. What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that look like?
Yeah.
It's sending an email. I sent her an email. I was like, hey, we had a meeting. And after the meeting, I was like, okay, I'll get back to you with some things. And the next day I sent her like a really nice professional email saying, hey, this just isn't working. I can't work with you moving forward. I will refund every dime back. And, I'll send you some recommendations. You could take all my ideas for free and take it to another planner to do. And she had a beautiful event and someone else did it for her. But it wasn't Amy with Amy Cynthia Events. And I wish I did that more. I wish I broke up with people more.
It's
honestly.
uncomfortable. And I think that's why I asked you, like, what did you mean when you say respectfully? Because a lot of people don't know how to do that. They think like, oh, it's going to be so nasty. It's going to be so rude. It's going to be so disrespectful. But there's a very nice way to do it.
Yeah, or they
A
just ghost the
professional.
client.
Yeah.
And they just completely stop responding and they just completely ghost them, because you'll see clients
Right.
post and they're like, my planner, this person, I paid a deposit, I had a consultation.
Oh, that's
And
rough.
we had a meeting and I never heard from them again.
Right.
So even though it
That's
is
rough.
hard to do,
Right.
like, it's still important to do, to be able to let a client go.
And this is funny. I guess some vendors or other professionals in the wedding and event industry can talk to this. Like, sometimes I get scared of my business phone. Like, sometimes I don't want to, like, flip
The
it over.
anxiety. Yeah.
The anxiety of it, of what your client, it's almost like we're in this industry where you're at the beck and call of people all the time, and you can't separate personal and then also business as well. So that's difficult.
So that's like, for example, a few weeks ago, we were meeting with a bride in a whole nother state, and another bride was texting you. But like, we're meeting with another bride, so we can't text back. And remember, she was like, hello, hello, hello.
Red flag.
Yeah.
Red flag. And I feel like she should have been broken up with the next day.
And I mean, I get it. I get sometimes you feel as if you're being ignored, but it's difficult. It's hard. like separating that. And, you know, we create, you have to create boundaries, right? And we create them, but because we want to be easy to do business with, sometimes we break them. And when you break those boundaries, they'll try to find ways to like break
Take
you.
full advantage.
Take full advantage. Absolutely.
But then also, I think just being completely open and honest with our brides, like, let's just say you have a bride that her wedding is a year from now, but you have 2 brides this year. So of course you're prioritizing, like you are building the itinerary, you are talking to those vendors right now. So you're trying to get everything done.
Right.
Versus somebody that's getting married in a year, like, yeah, I still care. And we have our meetings and everything set up. But right now, it kind of, you don't want to say you're not a priority, but you're not.
You're not a priority. Yeah, that's
but
the
you're
truth,
not.
though.
Like, how
yeah.
do you say that in the nicest way possible?
Right.
You're not a priority.
Right.
And that's difficult.
Right.
I know a boundary for me that I always put from the very beginning is like, I may not text right back, but when I see your message, I will respond. Because it's like that thing of like, I don't do this full time. So like I have a full-time job. I'm doing this. I'm in school. I got to do those things too. So it's like, I may put my phone on Do Not Disturb for hours, but when I see your message, I'm going to respond. But don't always expect a response from me right away. Like that's a boundary I always have to put in place.
And see, my boundary is I'm not messaging you after 6 or 7 o'clock.
Oh, well, that too.
Like
yeah.
I have
I
a cutoff time. That's my time. So my phone is on Do Not Disturb. I may have read it. I may have opened it up.
But
I'm
it's not
still
my business
responding.
hours.
It's
Yeah.
not business hours.
Destiny's
Right.
serious about her self-care very
Yeah.
much. My phone is always
I'm in
on
the
Do Not
bed.
Disturb.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm in the bed.
Yeah.
And you have to, or else you'll be doing wedding work stuff until 3 a.m.
So Whitney and I just said what our boundaries is, and it sounds like putting our phone on Do Not Disturb, and we have a time of like, that's my cutoff time, that's my personal time. We want to know some of your boundaries. Like, what are your boundaries in your profession of things that you just know I can't tolerate or do at this time? Maybe it is responding at a certain time or responding to certain emails, anything. Comment below what your boundaries are in your profession.
No, yeah, I think that's great. I clearly have no boundaries at all. I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And honestly, for the people who watch the Planner Suite today, I'm a corporate girly. I'm a corporate girly that owns a business. I own a few businesses and I slay that shit. And I'm a workaholic. That's it. That's all I got to say. No, I feel like that's important because I have no boundaries at all.
Yeah.
And it's really bad.
No,
Hopefully I get
So
better.
what are you going to
break
do?
up.
Yeah. What can we do moving forward to help you develop those boundaries? What's a boundary that you wish you had in place?
What I'm just gonna do is I need y'all to hire Destiny and Whitney and not hire me. And yeah, we good.
No, actually hire Amy so she can work on her boundaries.
Yes. I feel like a boundary you can work on
Is this therapy?
You know, like you see it coming a mile away and breaking up. Like, yeah, you've broken up with clients before, but like,
I've said no to a client this year.
I'm proud.
I said no to her because I saw the red flags and I was like, ooh.
And sticking to contracts
we
because
are
you've
not-
also refunded when we've said you're not getting no money back.
Oh wow, this is a lemon squeeze. This is a lemon squeeze.
But
This is an intervention.
Those
This is
are
an
boundaries
intervention.
that
You are actually, you know what? You're right. They are right. I'm
Yeah.
too nice.
You
So
are.
last year in 2020, was it 3? I started the year and I was like, I ain't refunding nobody. You signed a contract. You signed a contract with Google. You ain't getting your money back.
Right.
So that's what I said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they came back and they did chargebacks. And I was like, what? They called the credit card company and be like, I didn't want that service. Like they got their money back. As a business owner, that is crushing. I thought like my small business was over. And I only got 2 chargebacks. One was from a friend, y'all. And the other one was from like a person like I really didn't know. But like they crushed me. Like I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, you know what? It's okay to have like a bad review or it's bad. It's okay to have a bad experience as a business owner. Like I got
because everything isn't for everyone.
right.
Yeah.
And I got a bad review and ATM was like, yeah, just respond back and say you sorry. Like you can't be that person for everyone. You can't be that person for everyone.
It's crushing. It's
It is.
crushing.
It
Like
is.
that client leaves that bad review. It's like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore.
But then also, I think that's the importance of having like other planners on your team.
Right.
Like, yeah, the name is Amy Cynthia Events, but you have other planners.
Yeah,
So I think in that initial consultation, like you're pretty good at saying, I may not be the good fit, but let me get this bride to Whitney. Like, let me get this bride to Melissa. Like, being able to give a bride to someone else is extremely important.
Right.
Because if not, at least till you see in the red flags, and now you stuck with that bride.
Right,
because you don't want to be a year in and you like, you know what, girl, Whitney gonna come on.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. But I think another thing too, just in general, is knowing who your ideal client is. Like I know who let's just go back a little bit. So when you start a business and you're a small business owner, you feel like you have to take everyone so you can build that portfolio and get those people. And I truly feel like I went through a phase of that. Like I feel like we had to take everyone. And I feel like Amy Cynthia Events is in a space where we don't have to take everyone. Like we could take the people who fit our brand and who we are. And because we are leaning into that space, we have to break up with less people because we know the people for us in our business. So being able to stand in your ground and know who you are, what you want to plan, and et cetera. I want to plan glam weddings. You got $100,000 to spend on decor? I want that. I want that. That's what I want. I'm not going to lie to you anymore. And honestly, for those that come with less, I mean, we can make it work, but I'm not going to fake the funk to make you think that I can give you that Instagram wedding in that price point. Because I think that comes with a lot of it too. It's because these people trust you. And when you can't, deliver what they want, that's really hard as well.
So I think one of my biggest things too is like, what makes you break up with a client? Like, is it their vision? Is it them the fact that they keep texting you? Is it their budget? Like, is it just them simply?
I think we know the budget from the beginning. Like, we know if they have it or they don't have it. We know all of those things. I think it's a matter of things. My biggest thing, I think my red flag number one thing is if you don't trust me. If you don't trust me, and you are finding ways to cut corners around me, you don't believe I'm sending emails. I have to literally, credit myself with everything. I have to literally cross every T and dot every I. This is not working.
Right.
It's not. If you can't trust a professional, then what are you even doing?
It's like, you don't need me.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need me. Like, you can do this by yourself. You literally don't need me.
I know Amy has broken up with clients, but have you broken up with clients?
I have not broken up with the client. I've told Amy I was like a co-lead, and I told her we should break up with this client. And there was one where we did, and there was one where we did not.
Stuck it out.
And that was a situation where it was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, I don't want to be a planner anymore. What Amy was saying, where she said it crushed her, it crushed me, because it was like, you give your all to that client, because I knew from the beginning that she was not the best client for me. So you overcompensate a little bit. So it's like I gave you extra, and it's still just.
And that's how I feel. Like, I haven't broken up with a client. I have worked a wedding that broke me.
Yeah.
Literally broke me. Like, I was in shambles. And afterwards, I was like, oh, I'm not coming back. Because I have a full time.
Yeah,
I have
literally.
a salary.
That was me.
I don't need this. I'm here to help you.
I think 2023, I know you had a wedding in 2022 that did that to you. Yes. And I think 2023 as well. I think we all had weddings that kind of like.
Everybody lost their mind last year.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that wedding that Whitney was talking about, you don't know how much your planners put in on the back end. Like, I have a wedding right now where they cut things that they wanted, and I went behind their back and I paid for those things because I wanted them to have them. But you don't notice how much your planners put in on the back end so you can have things. The begging that goes on the back end, calling the rental company and say, hey, can you guys wash 200 champagne glasses? I know the client said they didn't want it 6 months ago, but they wanted the day of the wedding. Like, I don't think you understand how much begging that we do to make the things happen, and how much I put a lot of my money into my clients' events if it makes them happy.
Yeah. Right. And I just want clients to realize like how much before you write that review, or before you send that text message or make that phone call.
Or before you talk about us in the community.
Yes, just think about, like, we have a problem when I was putting deodorant in all these places. Like when I was helping you lift all these parts to make it sit right in your dress. Like I was your girl.
Right.
But afterwards, because I didn't do something that you wanted me to do, now it's all these issues. So I want clients to be able to reflect on those things as well. It's not us, it's the clients.
I could say sometimes it may be us.
Sometimes, yeah. I can
Well,
think of
yes.
times where I underdelivered or where I just wasn't in it. But you also have to recognize, like, you go through personal stuff, we go through personal stuff as well. So I may not always show up the way that I have previously. I may want to, but I just don't have it, you know? So I think you just have to be gracious too. As clients have to be gracious sometimes, and they don't.
And I do want to say this. I've had amazing brides.
Mhm.
Like I've literally, I think
for
I've
sure.
had the best brides ever.
Yeah.
But that one had like just put that.
All it takes is one.
Yes, oh, yeah, it really does. It just
that
takes
one had me ready to quit, even though I had like amazing other brides.
Right. Same weekend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the same
What?
weekend.
Oh,
Same
yeah,
weekend.
that was a double whammy.
It was that weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same weekend.
Yeah, because we were talking to each other about it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah. I quit. Let's quit together.
Right.
Oh,
Let's quit
Oh
together.
Lord, the truth comes out. I had no planners, but they're here. They
Yeah.
made it.
Yeah. we made
So
it.
tell me this, like, what is one thing that kind of keeps you going with your brides? Like, what is one thing that some of your brides do that kind of keep you going, like keep you motivated? Like, I know for me, when people just say thank you,
Mhm.
and that's so crazy. Like, it's just a simple thank you. Like, I have brides that say, like, thank you so much. Thank you for doing this, or thank you so much, because there are some people who have experienced bad planners,
Mhm.
people who don't jump on meetings with them. Text messaging isn't even an option, not even a fucking option. And I'm sorry I'm cussing, because we overextend ourselves where you could text us.
Love a group chat.
I'm not going to lie. If you cut back, if our producers cut back, a bride just texted me. I stopped and I texted the bride while filming. She has complete access to me. And that's who we are all the time. And when they say thank you, I
Not
be
complete
like,
access.
well,
I'll text you until 6:30.
I said I have no boundaries.
We're gonna work on that.
But you know, we get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate thank yous as well.
And tips.
yes,
Yes.
which does not happen.
That's a whole
often.
nother topic
Yeah,
for another day.
that doesn't.
Yeah.
Which I think that they just don't think of the planner as a vendor.
I don't know if they know. A lot of people don't know to tip your vendor. They
Well,
think that invoice is it, and that's it.
No. Because I will say this. We just did a wedding, and I asked the bride, I always ask them about a week out, do you plan on tipping your vendors? Who's giving the vendors the tip? Some of them tip and some of them don't. I'm not gonna lie, the best tip we got was from a bride who now works for us.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yep.
She gave the best.
Yes.
And it sucks when I don't have a lot of my team working on days that we get tips.
Yeah.
Like days when I get like,
I forgot. She blessed us.
she blessed us.
Yeah. All of us individually.
Individually.
Like we all got our own individual envelope. I completely forgot about that.
She tipped me $1,000.
Yeah.
And then everyone got tips on the side. Like that's
Yeah,
the
and I got
tips. That's
500.
the energy that
And
you
I
should
was
be
just
getting.
a co like I wasn't co-lead or anything. I was just there that day. She tipped 500.
And the rule is what you do after that is you tip out your staff. I didn't have to tip out my staff after. Actually, I did. I think I took money out of the 1,000 and I gave.
I don't think you had. She gave all of us our envelope.
Oh,
Yeah. Right. Yeah. She gave
so I
all
just
of us
kept
the envelope.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes!
But no, she gave all of us our own money. You didn't have to tip us out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was good.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Yeah.
But they don't. A lot of people don't. I don't think they know to tip.
Yeah. I think that's it. Like they don't know to tip. And maybe that's
Because
that's
the way
tough-
the
I mean,
feet,
and
because
think
the way
about
the
it.
feet hurt at the end of the night.
my ankles swell. No joke. My ankles swell the next day, depending on like what I was doing and how much we were working. My ankles will swell.
It'd be
Yeah.
like 20,000
And then
steps
flat
in a day.
sandals.
No,
for
seriously.
Sure.
I looked the other night. I had 21,463 steps from one wedding alone. That I did not even get there till 11 o'clock in the morning. So think about those weddings where you work like
Yeah.
you wake your bride up. And that's
Mhm.
another thing too. So most of the time we are doing those welcome calls and
Yeah.
like at their door, good morning.
We're up when the first person is getting hair and makeup done at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Our team does that. Amy
Yeah.
Cynthia Events does that. Not every planning staff starts from the morning with you guys. And that's why our packages are different than other people's packages. That's why our prices are different than other people's prices. Well, like when we do our consultations, we go through it, but I mean, we're there from the beginning to end. Like I've taken up floor wraps. So just make sure I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that we overextend ourselves for our brides. Like customer service is important. And if you want to book with us, just go to the website.
And I think that's why we want such a special clientele, because we know how we deliver. We know the clientele we want. We know what we give, and we want it to be accepted. We want the thanks reciprocated. So yeah, we know who we want. And, if you fit that bill, then be sure to book with us at Amy Cynthia Events. Follow the Planner Suite. Yes. And we'll see you next time right here in the Planner Suite.
Bye.
Bye.